Well, today on Eye in the Desert, we're talking about Van Gogh, a traveling exhibit arriving at the Empire Polo Field. It's going to be spectacular. And with me, Fanny Kurta, to tell us a little bit more about this. Van Gogh, of course, an interesting, enigmatic figure in the art world, but spectacular artwork. And you really bring it to life with this exhibit.
That's the goal. And it's interesting that you lead with him this way because you're right. His legend sort of comes before him, this sort of dark myth of the tortured genius and plagued with poverty, mental health issue. And all this is true to a certain extent. But most importantly, like you also mentioned, that's not what you see when you look at his work. His work is really filled with brightness, with light, with joy. It's really meant to be the solutions he found for the darkness in his life. And that's really what this show focuses on. And it shows just how a perfect fit it is for an immersive experience because a Van Gogh already looks like it's moving on the wall of a museum. It looks like it's leaping towards you. The colors are so vibrant. So this experience is really about bringing you in, putting you inside the painting and having all of this brightness, this joy, and this beauty really truly surround you.
Now, this exhibit is very different than going and seeing the works of Van Gogh in a museum because, as you say, you're really kind of stepping into the artwork. So it's larger than life.
Exactly. And there's nothing that's ever going to replace the magic of an original Van Gogh. If anybody has a chance to go to a museum, see one, go to MoMA in New York and see the original Starry Night, that's something really you can't replace. But there's something so phenomenal and magical and unique about being able to just go beyond the frame and inside the paintings. When you're already familiar with them, it's just a fantasy of being inside the world you know and love. And if you know nothing about Van Gogh or don't know really anything about his work, maybe past the sunflowers or Starry Night, that's also great because you get to discover it in such a phenomenal way, in such a really dynamic and encompassing way. It's really, really great for kids in that sense.
It is a great thing for kids to see because I think it will really capture their attention. Kids, their attention spans are short and they like things that are moving. So this is going to be a nice way to kind of bring them into the world of fine art.
I really, when we created this whole thing, we created it during COVID. So it was October 2020 when we started. So we all worked remotely, working from our computers, seeing it on this little screen. And then the first time I got to see it in the space, that's when it found its true purpose. But then I saw kids running around after the brush strokes, just following the petals as they flow around the room. That's when it truly, truly became alive and really, really spectacular.
Now, how long are folks going to have an opportunity here in Palm Springs to see this exhibit with Van Gogh?
So it opens on September 30th and it goes up until November 27th. And tickets are flying away. So it is the kind of thing you need to plan ahead. And all of the tickets and information can be found on vangoghpalmsprings.com.
VanGoghPalmSprings.com, the information up on your screen, and get a chance to see this. Get your tickets while they last because it is truly a spectacular experience that you don't want to miss. And it's great for the entire family. Fanny, thank you so much for joining us on Eye in the Desert.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.